The Spire murders are a well-known series of killings that occurred in 5 different places from 2004 to 2011. Due to its notoriety, the case was investigated secretly. However, in the winter of 2011, just months after the most recent murder, bandits managed to enter the main office and spread the documents on the internet. It has been gaining fame ever since. Maria DeVille. Maria DeVille was the daughter of a famous supermodel, known to have a kind heart, and was called by others the shining jewel for her beauty. Her father died in a car accident when she was 3, but she didn't take heed, and her kindness finally gained the killer's attention. After submitting donations to the town's charities for the poor, on April 2, 2004, she decided to visit her father's grave. A passerby seeing Maria waved hello before continuing on her walk. Sadly, that time would also be the last time anyone would see her alive. That same evening, her mother, Florence DeVille, went to the police station just blocks away from their house to report her daughter's disappearance. They soon called a rescue team to help them with the search for Maria. As the search team went to the mountains, they received a call from an anonymous source, saying that he saw a body approximately 3 meters from their position. They soon split up to continue with the search, and one finally saw Maria's body. Maria's body was so horribly mangled that it was almost unrecognizable. Along with her other wounds, her head was missing. She had been decapitated. The autopsy suggested that she had attempted to escape, but was stabbed in the back repeatedly. Florence, hearing this tragic report, suffered a heart attack and died at 3 a.m. the next morning. Both were buried at the family's funeral garden, with Maria's just beside her father. Yvette Sarin. Yvette Sarin was a young singer whom everyone said to be glamorous and elegant. Her first debut, a song named Silk Jealousy, gained worldwide attention. The song has seen little airplay since her death. It began when a massacre claimed the lives of her family in 2007. Aline Safadil, her closest friend, witnessed the slaughter and committed suicide as a result of her trauma 2 days later. Yvette disappeared outright for 5 hours, making the police wonder whether or not she also committed suicide, but her body was never found. As her friends were interviewed, one mentioned that she kept a diary, and the police soon searched the house, but no diary was found. A week after the murder, an anonymous sender mailed a package containing her diary, in which her last entry told of her pity for Aline. What baffled them, though, was her last writing. I was subdued by fears, horror, and... The rest of the words were unintelligible due to bloodstains, which later tests revealed to be Yvette's. Teresa Jones and Leslie Fall. Teresa Jones and Leslie Fall, as said by people in their town in Florida, were best friends known to always merrily sing in the neighborhood. Teresa is said to have a short temper, but is respectful, whilst Leslie was shy and prone to accidents. On September 15, 2009, they were murdered. As usual, Leslie was with Teresa when shocked neighbors saw them both running off into the night. The next day was greeted with a sudden call from the Falls about the grisly sight of the dead family. The couple was shot multiple times, and Teresa and Leslie's horribly mutilated bodies were found on the bedroom floor. There was a note in Teresa's pocket that stated her mother must kill her daughter, or Teresa might discover that her mother is the murderer of Teresa's father, which suggested that Teresa's mother is the killer. Authorities had the case closed immediately as a result from the media attack. Anna Guzman. Anna Guzman was a pianist who was not much known, but usually performed at the city stage along with her classmates on weekends. As such, she was well beloved by her family and friends, and always gathered together in reunions. In one reunion in 2010, however, she didn't appear, and family members were bewildered, so they set out to find the missing child. Antonio Guzman, Anna's uncle, was said to have been murdered days earlier, but the authorities reported no such case. A week after the case was closed, the family went abroad. Not much is known about this crime as a result. Cassie Neville and Derek Samo. This murder is the last murder in the series. Cassie was relatively famous for her close friendship with Derek Samo, the mayor's son. Cassie was polite and nice, while Derek was courageous and often helped with the police. Both disappeared on the evening of September 18th in 2011, which was the day they were supposed to go to the city's celebration. 2 days had passed before their bodies were discovered. Cassie's intestines were pushed out, and several deep gashes were found on her arm, which could possibly have been done in front of Derek's eyes. Derek's body, however, was horribly mangled, a sign that the murderer took immense pleasure in torturing them to death. The officials deemed it necessary to cover the case. Soon after the last murder, police forces found crucial evidence on each crime scene. On Maria's beloved silver necklace, which was found at the site where she was killed, the word Spire was etched into it. The same went for Yvette's diary, Leslie's emerald bracelet, Anna's grand piano, and Derek's armband, which the police said as clues. As investigations were conducted, a blood stain from the murderer was found at the Fall residence, helping the officials track down the DNA match. Unfortunately, Samula Jones, the murderer, committed suicide as soon as she knew the police forces were about to arrest her. As such, the case was immediately closed, and police never said a word about it ever since. However, some investigations concluded on Samula had shown additional information, including a bruise in her left arm and a slit on her cheek. One of them also found that her neck showed signs of strangling, a sign that she was murdered herself. The suspicions of the investigators were proved right after an officer reported that the chair she had sat on had the word Spire embedded on it. A fingerprint was found at the chair, but no match has been found as of now, rendering the actual killer's location impossible to find.